What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Blitz Fantasy Football. My name is Ryan Linkletter. I'm here with David and Debro. We are doing a mock draft today. Appreciate both of you guys hopping on. How we doing tonight?
Doing good, boys. It's a good time to be mock drafting, man.
It's a perfect
Training
time.
camps are open, and I feel like, man, it's both a feeling of excitement and dread, knowing that I'm not going to have a life for the next like 5 months. Knowing that week one will be here as soon as I blink my eyes.
100%. I mean, we're going to get a bunch of news in training camp that's going to completely change ADPs. And I've been sitting here this past week. I mean, we had the Mike Williams retirement. We had Rashee Rice somehow, who was unsuspendable this year, now is likely going to get a suspension. Anything can change within a matter of a minute. And that's why you guys have to tune into mock drafts that we drop all the time. And that's why we're going to be dropping one for you guys today. Taking a look at our stream here and our screen, we have David in the 3 slot, Debro in the 5 spot, and then I'm sitting there in the pretty 9 spot that seems pretty coveted right now among the community. So we're going to hop right into this thing. Make sure those sleeper noises are off because those always get you. And we're going to have David on the clock here first. Looks like we got Jamar Chase and Saquon.
Okay,
Right off
perfect.
the bat,
Perfect.
David, who we thinking?
So I want to go Justin Jefferson just immediately. If
Nice.
the offense was clicking last year with Sam Darnold of all players, who had a breakout year, went to Seattle. JJ McCarthy sat a year. I love when rookie quarterbacks sit a year. And assuming he's as good as Sam Darnold was, Justin Jefferson is a must start in PPR.
100%, 100%. He's like, listen, I posted a tweet about this. Like, Justin Jefferson is on such a historical pace with his weekly production. Like, he's Antonio Brown of our current generation. It's that crazy of a pace that this guy's on. Debro, who we going with 5 here?
Man, I could make a lot of cases for a lot of guys. I feel like Jameer Gibbs is the obvious play here, but I'll go CeeDee Lamb. Like I love Gibbs, but my thing with Gibbs is if Montgomery stays healthy, his absolute ceiling is capped. Montgomery's still going to be involved. And for me, I know a lot of people look at floor plays and stuff like that, like want safety and certainty with their first round picks. For me, I'm always going upside the entire
Yep.
draft because I don't give a crap about third place. Nobody remembers that. You want first. So I want if I can get a shot at a player that I think can be the number one at their position, that's exactly where I want to go. And it's not to say that Gibbs couldn't do that, but assuming health where we're at, if Montgomery stays healthy, I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting last year, too, to kind of watch Jameer Gibbs basically become everything we imagined in a full workload when Montgomery was out. And then now you get Montgomery back. We don't know if there's going to be that timeshare. We both love Jameer Gibbs, it seems like, but CeeDee Lamb, man, I think the positive regression he's going to have this year is just so exciting to watch. And I think a lot of people are looking forward to that.
Don't
With some of the
forget,
guys, what were you going to say, David?
Gibbs has a different offensive coordinator coming to the year two on top of Montgomery being healthy. So that's a double whammy going against him
Yeah,
compared to
it's
guys like
fair.
Deshaun.
I'll say I'm not as low on all of the turnover as a lot of people are for Detroit, but I do think like as efficient and as explosive as they were last year, I think just natural regression has to hit some of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Debra, I actually got a question for you kind of about this Lions team. Sam Laporta is a name that's going to come up in the future. You mentioned like the big play difference potentially. Do you think he potentially has more of a workload, or do you think he's a guy we should be concerned about based on some of that, big targets going away? He was a big time threat in the red zone a little bit. What do you think with Sam Laporta heading into this year?
I think he's fine, man. I think we got a little bit out of our skis last year. JMO people say like, oh, he's gonna have a breakout year this year. I'm like, did y'all sleep through Jameson Williams last season? Like 1,000 and a top 24 finish is a breakout to me, dude. So I
Yeah.
mean, like I don't see JMO becoming anything more than what he's been like last year. So Sam Laporte, I think, is a big bounce back candidate. And I think the thing that people miss with both Sam Laporte and Mark Andrews is that both these guys were not healthy for most of the season last year. Like Sam
Yeah.
Laporte, especially, dude. Like I think it was around the Thanksgiving game. And if you look at the splits between what he did before, what he did after that, Sam Laporta after that game was basically the Sam Laporta everybody thought they were drafting in the preseason.
Yep, 100%. I think that's going to be a tough dilemma for people when they come up there. And then the 9 slot here, there's probably 2 players that I'm seriously considering, and I'm probably higher on one player than the other than the community. So I'm just going to go out and draft him because of that. A lot of times people go Malik Neighbors, and I understand that pick. The 31% target share speaks for itself. He is the New York Giants offense, but I'm going to go with a guy that a lot of people are
Oh,
high on. And
okay. Let's
listen,
go, dudes. Talk to me.
I'm going to talk to you
Solid,
nice
good.
with BTJ. I am a Liam Cohen truther. He is perfect for wide receivers. Every system he's been in, those wide receiver ones can produce. And we all know that Brian Thomas Jr., Trevor Lawrence, that connection is going to be very nice this year. Listen, 133 targets as a rookie. And if you look at some of these splits, I know they're gone now, but if you look at the 2024 game log here, his production down the stretch, this guy was breaking out at the perfect time. Brian Thomas Jr. is here to stay, and he's only going to get better because he has a wide receiver too, like Travis Hunter now, who should be able to separate at the NFL level, even if the training camp clips aren't that good, right? They're going to have a better offense. This defense is going to be abysmal. It is going to be Brian Thomas Jr., who has a legit ceiling of the wide receiver one. And like Debro mentioned earlier, we are drafting for upside. And the difference between Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas for me is that I think the Giants offense might struggle a little bit more than the Jaguars. And even if Malik Neighbors is that guy that has that insane target share like he did last year,
Sweet
it's going to be a little
mama. You
interesting.
get CMC to come back to you in the second round.
I have a quick
What is
question
this?
for you, Ryan.
Listen, I might have a great start to my draft here.
Ryan,
Jeez,
before you
dude.
pick, just for Brian Thomas Jr., is it any concern to you of his production being without Trevor Lawrence last year? Because that was with I can't remember who it was, but that was with their backup quarterback. Is when Brian
Mac
Thomas
Jones.
really produced.
Yeah. See, the thing is, I'm not concerned at all because it makes me even more excited because his quarterback's going to be better this year.
Yeah.
And
No.
listen, I think regardless of if Trevor Lawrence does take a step this year, I mean, he took a step backwards, it feels like the last 2 years. He is good enough to where he can have similar production to what he had at the end of last year throughout an entire season with Lawrence at quarterback.
I absolutely agree. Brian Thomas Jr. is my wide receiver 4. I have him over a lot of other guys. And everything you said. I mean, dude, he has why not? He was the wide receiver 2 with Mac Jones last year. He was earning almost a 30% target share.
Like, that was Mac Jones.
He would. So what? Like, so Trevor Lawrence is not better than Mac Jones?
David, you ain't got nothing to say to that. David, you got nothing to say.
Let's keep it 100 here. I mean, are you really telling me that Mac Jones is on par with Trevor Lawrence? Like, seriously.
Listen. I've been a Trevor Lawrence truther for years.
Then what? Like, you got too hurt to sit here and, like, you're out now?
No, you want to know what? Like Kyle Pitts, everyone tells me, oh, he's going to break out this year. For the last 4 years, everyone's been saying this, and he's never broken out once. He had one
I don't care what
game.
Trevor Lawrence does singularly. I'm not telling you he's going to be a top 12 quarterback. My thing is he is better, emphatically better than Mac Jones. What is to stop Brian Thomas Jr. from leading the league in targets? We're all talking about Travis Hunter. What does he play?
He's in Jacksonville.
How does that impacting his targets? Like, he's not going to lead the league. Like, I don't.
It's more so, all jokes aside, it's more so Travis Hunter coming to the building, and I believe Travis Hunter is more of a true wide receiver 1 coming into the league than Brian Thomas was last season.
I think listen, I will end this argument right here, David. Brian Thomas Jr. was honestly, if he was in this year's draft class, he would have been taken within the top 8 players easily. Like, he was a better prospect coming out than Ted McMillan. He played with Neighbors in college, so he was overshadowed. The only reason he went that late was because of that. Brian Thomas Jr., man, I'm sorry. Me and Debro are on it, though, with BTJ. And like you guys mentioned, typically, I've been a guy that's higher on Devon A-Chain than a lot of people because of like the upside, and I've been pairing him a lot with Jalen Wright late in drafts, and I thought that's probably who I go here. Christian McCaffrey, can't pass this guy up. Not going to say
round 2?
Round 2. Christian McCaffrey, Brian Thomas Jr., welcome to the squad.
The mock draft gods giveth and they taketh away, man.
Best
like
quarterback in the league off the board.
Jeez, bro.
Oh, yeah, Josh Allen right there. You got 3 straight running backs gone, too.
A BTJ CMC start is absolutely filthy. That's where you just say, all right, I give up. I'm logging out,
And
man.
that's the
Get
thing
it.
about the turn too, is like you have these combos that feel really nice right now at the
Yeah.
backside.
Yeah, I'm in between a few different players here. Like you could talk me into AJ Brown. The fact that we're only starting two in this thought exercise, though, two wide receivers, makes me lean against him. I'm gonna go with the onesie position. Trey McBride. I think
Yeah.
if we flip over
Dang.
the cards after this year and Trey McBride is going to be a first round value player, then nobody should be surprised, man. If he'd have scored touchdowns, like this guy has insane upside to be like that Travis Kelsey type of difference maker to where he's scoring 18, 19 points. And if that's the case, he should have been a first round pick. So
Yeah. I have a question for you real quick before David picks here. Brock Bowers. I'm a guy that thinks Brock Bowers is in for a little bit of regression. It's not necessarily worth that end of the first, early second ADP. Do you think Trey McBride, middle of the second, is worth more than Brock Bowers where he currently is? And would you pick McBride over Bowers?
McBride is my tight end one. So straight up, I'm
Awesome.
agnostic of ADP and cost. I'm picking Trey McBride. But I think McBride and Kittle, where they go in drafts, are better picks than Brock Bowers.
I don't know like how we're on the same page with everything, but I think we are. So that's an interesting start to the draft. Hopefully
I
we
mean,
don't steal a
dude,
guy here next.
just not to get off a tangent, and I know we're talking the board way before all these guys, but I
Yeah.
mean, just to put this and frame this for context for everybody, we do all realize that we are drafting last year's tight end one as the tight end three, right? Like,
Yeah.
so that's kind of insane, especially when you're telling me in most draft rooms you're going to get a 2, maybe 3 round discount versus Bowers to Kittle. Like,
Yeah.
dude, that's insane.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts right now. David, who are we leaning here after the Justin Jefferson pick in the
So I have a
first?
couple options, and I'm really praying one of them falls to me on the turnaround. But gotta go for upside here. I'm gonna hope Jackson Smith-Njigba comes back to me, and I'll get to that later if he does. But Lad McConkey, after the year he had, the Chargers capitalized in the offseason. They brought in Hampton, they brought in Harris for Harbaugh's run game. They've drafted Trey Harris. That offense is gonna be insane this year to me. I think Lad McConkey just capitalizes and does if as much as he did last year or more. Honestly, I think he's got the potential to be wide receiver 6, 7 at the high side, but he won't be worse than wide receiver 15.
Does feel
He's
like
yeah,
Lad has a safe floor too with where he's going.
he's a
Come on,
fantastic
come
pick.
on. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. I was gonna go on a tangent about being a Sam Darnold believer in Seattle.
Oh, I mean, for your sake, I'm glad you didn't have to have the chance to do that. For being a Sam Darnold believer, I'm
I was
glad
gonna
you didn't
bring
have
up
the chance to
Baker
do
and
that.
Mike Evans. It would have been great.
I'm,
I
I'm,
feel like,
I'm
I feel like
glad
the
we're gonna
draft
pass
saved
on
you
that.
from yourself.
Yeah.
It would have been great.
The chat is
Oh.
thanking you right now, David. All right, who we going with here at this spot?
The elite quarterbacks are starting to go off the board. Plenty of good running backs still here. I like Kyron Williams, but with the Bengals offense, I have to go Chase Brown here. They didn't do a thing on defense. Defense might have got worse, honestly. They didn't sign their first round pick. There's no shot that defense is better than what it was last year. And the offense, you see Chase Brown's numbers. He was insane in a pass first offense because they were always down last year. He's gonna at least repeat what he did last year.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty high on him as well. We'll get to Debro's pick here in a second. I think Chase Brown, like the production speaks for itself when he took over. He was the RB3 last year when he was a full-time starter. Production speaks from itself. He's a guy that training camp wise, you see like Chase Brown is taking every snap with the ones. He might jump into the middle second round. If you see like, hey, Zach Moss is splitting time with the ones, maybe Taj Brooks is mixing in a little bit with the ones as well. That's where you might see like Chase Brown slide just a little bit. But I think right now his ADP is reasonably priced. But I think training camp, this is a guy where could shoot up, could shoot a little bit down based on some news. Debro, Garrett Wilson is the pick.
Yes, sir. I mean, what's to stop Garrett Wilson from a 32% target share? What's to stop Garrett Wilson from getting 140 to 150 targets? And for everybody that says, "Oh, Justin Fields is
I was
terrible and
on
he
my
can't,"
tongue.
I mean, but okay, we all did see DJ Moore finish as a top 10 wide receiver with Justin Fields for all
Yep,
the hate
true,
that he
true.
gets. We all did see Cole Kmet produce with Justin Fields, right?
I don't remember
And
Cole
this
Kmet,
is
but yeah, go
not
ahead.
even okay. So going back to all of this, we all like, can we also say, like, arguably, this might be the best coordinator that Justin Fields has ever worked with? Like, I'm sorry, I'm just not an Arthur Smith truther, but
Arthur Smith truther, no one is. No one is. No one is.
no.
Poor
And so,
Steelers went from Canada to Smith. Ugh.
yeah, I mean, I'm old enough to remember, boys, when 2023 DJ Moore and Cole Kmet were both top 10 at their positions.
Yeah.
So Garrett Wilson can easily pay off at his ADP, surpass it. As a guy that goes like, top 15 wide receiver, he could be a wide receiver one this year. Like, that's not even a debate for me.
Yeah, I think the interesting part about Garrett Wilson too, like the target competition in New York, and you mentioned it, like the guy can have a legit 30% target share in an offense that's run first, which is crazy, crazy. Like this offense could literally be, hey, Garrett Wilson, you're our option on the passing game, first down, third down, whatever it's going to be, it's Garrett Wilson's show. And like a lot of people are a little bullish on him because, last season the expectations were incredibly high and people are like, man, Garrett Wilson let me down. He's a guy that I could see slipping among some of the community, and in your home
Mhm.
leagues, you're like, how did I get Garrett Wilson at the beginning of the fourth? I feel
Yep.
amazing right now. And that's a type of pick that just wins you a league right there.
I absolutely agree. And the other thing I'll point out with Garrett Wilson, if this was a guy that, if this was a player that up to this point of his career has never been a 30 to 31% target share earner. And like we were talking about Garrett Wilson, like we've only seen him in the low 20s for target share. Then I would worry a little bit more about the pick because you haven't seen this guy garner that type of volume. And
Yeah.
targets are earned, they're a reflection of talent. So you do a lot of that is very sticky about you have wide receivers that are in that 20 to 22% range. You'll never see them break into the high 20s, low 30s. Dude, Garrett Wilson's already proven it. Like he can
Yeah.
earn a 30 to 32% target share. So there's no question about that.
100%. And in this spot, I feel like I'm in a little bit of a pickle here, just based on some of the guys available. I'm a little bit bullish on McLaurin and Harrison. Um, but I think at this point, right, I'm gonna do it. I think I'm gonna go with another New York Jet, and it
Oh,
honestly a little bit surprising here. I think,
okay.
and I don't draft Brees Hall ever. Like this is a guy that I never really consider in any of my drafts at this point.
Down with it.
But like I said, Brees Hall, right? This is a run first offense. And a lot of Justin Fields teams, their rushing efficiency actually improves because what do you have? A running quarterback. And this typically happens with a lot of running quarterbacks. You see it improve. Now, a lot of people are concerned about Braylon Allen potentially eating into his role a little bit. I
No.
don't see that necessarily happening. Brees Hall, guys, has still had very solid seasons. The offensive line last year is not to the level that I think it's going to be this season. I think that the New York Jets will run the ball better. Brees Hall will have more of a positive game script than they had last year. Could be better days ahead. And part of the thing with this point is I don't think McLaurin and Martin Harrison Jr. at their current price, James Cook as well, they're a little bit overpriced. And Rasheed Rice at that point earlier this week would have drafted him with no thought. But now we're at this point where I think I got to hold off on him a little bit based on that suspension. And at the turn, our boy George Kittle is gone. And I'm going to go with a player down this board that we kind of mentioned a little bit who played with Justin Fields, and it's DJ Moore, a guy that I think does have wide receiver one upside, especially in PPR formats. Ben Johnson, guys, he knows how to coach offense. Let's just say that. Caleb Williams is he's not with Shane Waldron. Let's just say that. Shane Waldron absolutely hurt Caleb Williams' development as a player. And post Shane Waldron leaving, Caleb Williams took a step forward. Now he has a full off season under Ben Johnson, who did wonders for Jared Goff in improving his fantasy numbers, his production on the field, all that good stuff. And we saw Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams have really solid production under him in Detroit. DJ Moore has really good production in the past in fantasy football, and he's still only 1 year removed, now 2 seasons removed from that 1,300-yard season with Justin Fields. DJ Moore is a really good pick, and like we mentioned, we draft for upside. DJ Moore has wide receiver one upside in 2025.
Please. Yes. I was
Who are you getting?
sitting on the edge of my seat. The fact that I can start with 2 wide receivers, an elite tight end,
Oh boy.
and I can still get a guy that was an RB1 last year. Sign me up, dude. And a Kubiak offense, Kenneth Walker.
Yeah,
I've said this from like I think January or February. I think Kenneth Walker is in for that Josh Jacobsian type of season where he just went absolute ham. And to have him ranked in the RB2s is just ridiculous to me, to be honest. When he produced as an RB1, he coffin nailed everybody that said he couldn't catch passes. He was elite top 10 in almost every single receiving metric you look at last year. And now they made offensive line upgrades. They're going to move to running the ball more. And not to say that I don't love Zach Charbonnet. This is proven this is Kenneth Walker's backfield when he is healthy. And if you need any more sauce on top of this, guys, he's in a contract year. You got to follow him. He's
contract
going to
year,
get
Kenneth
paid, and they
Walker.
should get paid. And K-Dub puts it up this year, he's getting a contract, man.
Listen,
doubt.
Kenneth Walker is probably one of the most fun running backs to watch and to root for when you have him in fantasy. And then there's just like you watch the Seahawks offensive line the past 3 years, and then he gets injured, and you're like, dude, I love Kenneth Walker, but can this team just figure it out? This feels like the year potentially with an offensive coordinator shift, a change in philosophy, contract year. Kenneth Walker, man, he stays healthy. He is an RB1.
Yep.
So I'm looking at receiver for my
What
next
is
pick.
Team 4 doing? Not to cut
Dude,
you off, man. What? I mean, the most high T of high T? RBs for 7 rounds. Nobody
They're doing it.
One
They're,
for carry over there in Team
No,
4.
nobody can stop me.
someone's
There's
going to
always
be
one
begging for an
league like
RB.
this.
Someone will be begging from an RB from Team 4.
I mean, okay. Whew. Sorry, go ahead, David.
You're fine. I'm honestly looking at a couple wide receivers here, some good value here to be the first flex option for me. While DK Metcalf is very enticing with Rodgers at quarterback, I might lean towards a guy like Cortland Sutton that is coming off a career year. They just had Bo Nix, drafted him last year, and he seems like a franchise guy with Sean Payton. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe they added a second receiver across from Cortland Sutton. They just added R.J. Harvey in the backfield. So
Evan Ingram and Pat Bryant.
we drafted Pat Bryant, yeah. Evan Ingram I love the addition for him, but I believe he's going into age 30. I don't believe he's going to take targets away from Cortland Sutton. I just see him as a guy that's the sole weapon in that offense with Bo Nix. And for that reason, taking him in the 4th round, and I'm smiling.
See who comes back to you on the turn here.
I was hoping Burrow or Hubbard would, but I didn't want to jinx myself like Smith and Jigba. But
Well, you're thinking here. I got a question for Debro here. So the running backs at this point, we have Kenneth Walker, Alvin Kamara, Joe Mixon, Chuba Hubbard, James Conner. All 5 of these players were really viable and consistent RB1 production multiple weeks last year. Do you feel like this is almost like a running back gold mine instead of a dead zone at this point? Depending on the guy, obviously. I'm not very high on
Depending on the
James
guys.
Conner.
So 3 out of the 4 guys you just mentioned, I'm kind of out on. I'm big into James Conner because his efficiency metrics didn't change. I'm not worried about the injury stuff. He still played, what was it, like 14 games? So essentially the entire fantasy season last year. Yeah. How many did he play last year?
16. A little 16 action there.
So yeah, 16. And then even the years before that, you know what I mean? Like it's like 13, 13, 15, 13. So it's like the injury stuff does get a little bit overblown for him. But for a guy that's still a top shelf as far as every single efficiency per touch metric you can find, I'm not worried about Trey Benson. I do have more concerns about Joe Mixon. I mean, he's just been a volume compiler. I think some of the mileage is starting to really kind of mount for him to where you're seeing some of this. So it's like, I'm not in on him. Alvin Kamara, if he burns me, he burns me. The efficiency hasn't been there on the ground the last few years at all. Hubbard's numbers, I think, are actually pretty fraudulent, man. Like before the Carolina Panthers realized last year that Miles Sanders was just on his last NFL
Miles
legs.
Sanders.
Dude, you look at the first 3 weeks of the season, Hubbard was playing between 50 and 60% of the snaps. He only had a 35% route per dropback rate. It wasn't until after Miles Sanders was really out for like, I think it was week 10, that you saw Hubbard getting these 80 to 90 to 95% snap shares. So adding Trevor Etienne and Rico Dowdle this year, that is going to factor into this backfield. And so, and the other thing for people, it's like, look, even if he plays 60% in that week 1 through 3 sample with Miles Sanders, he had 3 red zone touches versus Sanders 2. This could be much more of a split backfield. And last year's bell cow usage for Hubbard was more of a reflection of they didn't have anybody else. Like they were not running Raheem Blackshear out there for like 40%. So this year, you do have guys that are running mates and better pass catchers to really make Hubbard more of a landmine than just a gold mine this year. So only one of those guys that I'm into, but I don't disagree. I think that there's a gold mine of running backs, and maybe one of my guys gets here where I'm going to start talking about it here in a second.
All right, David, who are we going with here?
So I'm drafting as if we had 2 flex options, as most leagues do. So I'm going to easily draft DK Metcalf. Garrett Wilson had a career year with Aaron Rodgers at the helm last season. And Aaron Rodgers, assuming he plays somewhat like he did in New York in the Mike Tomlin offense, I just see DK Metcalf having that kind of resurgence in his career. I'm not saying he's going to be a top 10 wide receiver by any means, but this is a guy that can easily be in the 12 to 20 range, and that's something you love to see in your flex.
Yeah. I think Metcalf is a solid value around 5. It feels like his ceiling might be a little bit hindered, like you kind of mentioned, but I think production and, certain formats is, interesting to see from Metcalf.
All right. Well, I'm going to do it. I am going to shout out before I draft the guy I want here. I am going to shout out the absolute disrespect that Devonta Smith is getting in draft rooms and best ball everywhere. It's absolutely asinine to me. I don't understand why he's going as a wide receiver 3, which Devonta Smith over the last 3 years, he's produced as a top 20 receiver in fantasy points per game every single year. And now he's a wide receiver 3 in best ball. Now he's a wide receiver 3 in ADP. Now he's a wide receiver 3, and everybody's like, well, you can't draft him. Guess got to push him down some. It's like, why? You think the Eagles are going to run as much as they did last year? That's not going to happen. There's regression that's baked in for that. I'm telling the Eagles will throw more. It's not a question of if they'll throw more. It's a question of how much they will this year. So, Smitty, if I didn't already have 2 wide receivers and a start 2, I would be taking him here. But this is honestly, this start for this team is how I'm building a ton of my teams. I really want to pay up for tight end, and it's very particular with McBride and Kittle being my main targets there. But this is why I think you can start wide receiver heavy early, because if I'm able to get access to RJ freaking Harvey in round 5, sign me up, dude. Honestly, RJ Harvey, and I keep saying this, RJ Harvey and Amarian Hampton's ADPs should be flipped. The fact that they're not is we can have this conversation, and I want to hear your rebuttal, David, because I'm very staunch on this. Go ahead. You lead this off, and
I want to hear this because I'm an RJ Harvey truther too.
Go ahead.
But 1v2, I just don't. I just really don't like Harvey as a prospect coming out of college.
Why?
What do you mean? What do you mean? Why?
RJ Harvey.
If you don't like him, tell me why you don't like him.
Right.
First, he's a 24-year-old running back,
and that matters. Why on a rookie contract? We're not playing dynasty, bro. We're playing.
This is redraft.
I get redraft. I just don't.
I know, but we're in a redraft. You say you don't want to draft him. He's 24.
We're okay, but the comparison is Hampton versus Harvey, right?
Yeah.
Not whether Harvey's good or not, which I don't even think he is. But anyways, between Hampton and Harvey, Hampton's got he's got Harbaugh at the helm, who's a running back whisperer, and they already. With Ladd McConkey in the offense and drafting Trey Harris, they're going to have a better passing game, which is going to open up the field even more for their run game. I think their passing and run game are going to complement each other more so than the Broncos' passing and run game will. The Broncos only have Sutton and an Adrian Evan Ingram. People
All right.
people aren't gonna worry about Harvey the same way they will Hampton. Hampton is gonna produce in the passing game, the running game. The Chargers have a much better offensive line on top of that. They have Rashawn Slater. They also have Joe Alt, two premier tackles in this league. Who's the tackle for the Broncos?
McGlinchey and Bowles.
You're telling me that Denver's offensive line, is that where we're going? Denver's offensive line is going to be bad this year? Or they
I
are
think
bad?
I think it's going to be worse this year. Yes.
Based off of what?
All right. David,
What?
RJ
They were
Hart.
11th in run blocking grade last
Yeah.
year. Why are they going to be worse?
So
I just think Hampton's in a much better situation. On top of him being a better prospect.
So I can definitively tell you in a Greg Roman offense, Amarion Hampton is not catching passes. They've been bottom 5 in target share to the running back positions in almost every single year. They were bottom 2 last year. The only team that threw to the running backs as few as the Chargers last year was the freaking Rams.
So there's only one way to go, and that's up.
No, not in a Greg Roman offense.
No.
They are not going to throw. They are going to run the ball. I'll give you that. They are going to run the ball. But we all know that receptions carry more than carries in fantasy. PPR is more valuable. As far as receptions are, I think it was, what is it? Barrett always quotes 1.4, 1.5 times more valuable than a carry. Sean Payton, they're definitive truths. Greg Roman is going to run the hell out of the ball, but he's not going to throw to the running backs. That has never been the case in his offense. Sean Payton, on the other hand, will throw to the running backs. He's done it every single year. He's been top 5 to top 10 in target share to the position every single year. Over the last 2 years in Denver, top 5 both years. Javonte Williams, as bad as he was last year, was still getting a ton of targets, still getting a ton of pass game usage. The only thing that is different between those two guys is like Amarion Hampton to hit his ceiling, or at least where people are projecting, he has to hold off Najee. And I'll ask you this, David. Who are you more worried about as a player if you are worried about the other person in that backfield getting usage? Do you think J.K. Dobbins is a better player than Najee Harris?
When healthy, yes.
No.
When healthy, yes.
No.
J.K. Dobbins, when healthy, is a good running back. Yes.
And Najee is not as bad as people like to pretend he is, but
he's not bad, but that's someone in PPR I don't even have him on my board. Unless he falls like a 1 to 2 rounds past his ADP, in PPR I do not draft Najee Harris. Especially now.
I will say this with this argument too is there's two things. RJ Harvey in college had one of the highest elusive ratings coming out, right? That is
he bested Amarion Hampton and
Yeah.
breakaway percentage the last 2 years and elusive rating in the last 2 years.
And on top of this, the Denver Broncos were on the clock, had a chance at Amarion Hampton, which everybody thought they were going to do. And they went out and said, yeah, let me go pick a corner. We know what guy we want in the second round that had a 3rd round grade, and that's RJ Harvey. They went out and got their guy. Sean Payton's playing RJ Harvey. That's just nothing around that. Having J.K. Dobbins is more just a luxury at this point because now they have two guys that can run the football, and you're not going to just say RJ Harvey take on an 80% snap share because I'm not scared of Jaleel McLaughlin or Audric Estime. We saw them last year, and they were nothing in this offense. It's going to be an RJ Harvey show at 65%, J.K. Dobbins 35%, and I'm sure J.K. Dobbins is never going to play on 3rd down because he's never done it in his entire career. And what that leaves is RJ Harvey on 3rd down, passing upside. He'll have early down work, and he'll probably be more efficient because he has less touches throughout the year. It's going to be exciting, and I love me some Amarion Hampton too, but Najee Harris is getting $10 million this year still, and I think that Amarion Hampton is going to have a harder time breaking into that out of the gate initially, and they could be closer to that 50-50, and if it's just rushing touches, who knows what happens? A negative game script happens, Amarion Hampton's phased out, something like that. RJ Harvey's never phased out of the Denver Broncos offense because of the passing upside that he carries. David, I'm sorry, just can't get behind you and then defend you on that one. I just can't do it. All right.
I mean, I like Amarion Hampton, but they just to me, he doesn't have the pass game upside in the context of that offense to save him if he doesn't get all of the rushing equity and he doesn't get all of the red zone equity.
Yeah. All right. Heading into my next pick here, I'm going to draft a guy that I think has a lot of upside in an offense that throws the ball a ton. I've talked about this guy, very, very slightly here in the last 2 weeks. Mr. George Pickens in this
Oh,
slot. I love me some
pick.
George Pickens.
I hate
Listen,
you so much for that, Ryan. That's a great pick, dude.
I love me some George Pickens. George Pickens has been disrespected, thrown aside, thrown amok.
Pick.
He's had to play with Arthur Smith, Steelers offensive coordinators, no quarterbacks, no offensive line. He has gone through the ringer in Pittsburgh. Now he heads to Dallas, where Rico Dowdle decides to go play for the Carolina Panthers. They don't really have a running back. Oh, yeah. Hey, that Dak Prescott guy who loves to throw the ball 40 times a game, and a new coach. I said that really weird, but they're locked in there in Dallas, and George Pickens' volume is going to be there. He actually might break his targets record in his career, which is 106 in
He
his
will.
first year as Dallas as the wide receiver too within this offense.
He
I
will.
absolutely love George Pickens this year. Give me all the George Pickens I can get.
Dude, I love him. I have him ranked as a top 24 wide receiver. I
I thought about him for the DK pick, but I was like,
Ooh,
I don't
Xavier
know.
Worthy fell to me here.
he's gonna get so much volume. I love Pickens.
Yeah. I would pick Xavier Worthy if I didn't have three receivers. I think he's a little bit disrespected just a hair with where we're ranking him. Obviously, if Rasheed Rice gets suspended, it definitely helps. His production at the end of the season was legit. The Chiefs throw the ball enough. He is going to have volume. And he also had 7 rushing touches just in the red zone alone on top of his passing production. Andy Reid finds a way to get his playmakers the ball. Xavier Worthy is one of those guys. With my next pick here, let's see what I want to do. I got 2 running backs. I do love Travion Henderson. I think he's a great prospect home run hitter, but I'm going to go with Travis Kelce. And here's why. I think Travis Kelce in this slot, this is the best value we've gotten Travis Kelce at in his entire career, basically since 2015, 2016. At this point, he's the tight end 6, tight end 7 in a lot of drafts right now. Guys, he still had 98 catches last year. And if we're playing in a PPR league, that still means a lot. Sure, he doesn't have the upside of, Brock Bowers, Trey McBride, George Kittle, potentially even Sam Laporta. But I know that Travis Kelce is going to be a top 6 tight end if he stays healthy all 17 weeks this year. He only had 3 touchdowns last season. I expect that to go up a little bit with defenses potentially saying, yeah, Travis Kelce might not be the same player. I know a lot of people don't look at this, but I mean, the guy lost 25 pounds too. He should be able to move a little bit faster than he did last year when he looked like, a grandpa running out there. I think
Like
Kelce,
Jason Witten.
yeah, he
He
did
looks
look
like
like,
end of career Jason Witten, bro.
yeah, he looked like Raiders Jason Witten at the end there, but then somehow
It
he
was
does
rough.
like that wiggle move, and then the guy like misses, and you're like, dude, how do you miss Kelce moving 2 miles an hour? But I think he's just a value at this point, and if I miss out on the early tight ends, I'm like, I could settle. I could settle on it. Ted McMillan, was it?
Yeah. I was like, he's gonna make it. He doesn't make it. Oh, dude, I really wanted Tetaroa McMillan there.
For the flex, that
Love
would have been great.
Man, that sucks. Okay. I mean, I got a balanced build here. With how I've started this team, I already got my 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, elite tight end. Really, however the board falls here, I could go Travion Henderson. I am worried a little bit about the split between him and Ramondre Stevenson. This is half point, correct, Ryan?
This is full point.
Oh, it's full point. So
Yeah.
the full point PPR does help it. Yeah. So that I'll split the difference there. In full point, in half point, I would have gone with my dude Tony Pollard. Again, that's getting too disrespected in drafts. Since it is full PPR, I will go Travion Henderson because again, we
That
know
hurts.
what's going to happen, man. New England's going to throw to the freaking running backs. I mean,
Yeah.
it's Josh McDaniels. Travion Henderson's going to get a boatload of targets in this offense. And, we talk about, okay, well, who's going to catch the ball in New England? I could definitely tell you it's going to be Travion Henderson catching
Going
a
to
lot.
be a running back for sure.
Yes. So, like, I'm not worried about, like, his volume upside and stuff like that. Like, I don't care if he's only getting a handful of carries, like 7 to 10 carries. If he's getting 5 to 8 targets a freaking week in that offense, it doesn't matter, dude.
Yeah, 100%. David, who we got here after Olave goes?
And sorry for sniping you, David. It seemed like you wanted
Well,
to trade down there.
Ryan brought up Henderson. I'm like, don't be quiet. Be quiet.
If he just said it was half point, I would have gone Pollard. No lie.
Dude, I love the value. So you already know I'm not high on Harvey. I like Judkins and Henderson more than Harvey, but we're not going to get into that. So my value, what I'm doing in most drafts is taking Judkins or Henderson down the road and just taking only one running back early, contrary to what I usually do. Just because I think the value in those two rookie running backs is insane, especially in a Vrabel offense. Now, having to switch tracks here, I'm leaning towards Aaron Jones, mostly because you have essentially a rookie quarterback in J.J. McCarthy. He performed much better than I thought he would have last year with the Vikings, and I'm just going to hope he maintains that same level of production, since I think they're going to run a little bit more, again, with J.J. McCarthy slowly going to the pass game.
Yeah, I think Jones is. It's an issue. I feel like Jones you got to pair with a guy later in this draft a little bit because of Jones's injury history. But I mean, KOC is a running back god too. Like this guy can produce RBs. If Aaron Jones is going to turn the clock a little bit and have another year of production, I would say it would be in a KOC offense. Like this guy knows what to do with running backs. He has good production with them, but efficiency numbers scare me with Aaron Jones a lot right now.
Mm-hmm.
All valid points, but I'm just swinging for the fences once Henderson got drafted. But that's the risk you take.
All right, who are we going with here, David?
Now, got two quarterbacks that I love here. Got Baker, got Bo Nix. I'm going to lean towards Bo Nix here, only because I already drafted Sutton, and I'm a big fan of stacking your quarterback and receivers. So I'm going to go Bo Nix here, and just... Oh, there goes Baker, right on cue. But I just think Bo Nix, second year, Sean Payton's offense. You bring in a guy like Evan Ingram, he's just gonna keep producing.
Yeah,
top
I think
top 10 quarterback as a rookie as well.
Nix is solid. Like he's just going to be solid this year, and I have him over Mahomes and Mayfield in my rankings. And if I don't like the guys around him, right? Like if he's in my lap, I'll take him. Right? Yep. I'm not a middle quarterback guy most of the time, but like I said, if Nix is there, I'm taking him if I don't like the board.
Yeah, I think 7th round is great value for guys like Mayfield and Nix.
Man, there's a lot of different ways I can go here. Still, like I talked about Tony Pollard, looking at the context of this team, I mean, it is only starting 2 wide receivers. I did invest in wide receiver with 2 of my first 3 picks. So I could punt wide receiver a little bit if I wanted to. I'm a little bit fearful of the wide receivers that be coming back to me, but there's still guys that I like. Screw it. I'm just going to go upside and high T right here. Caleb Johnson. I can't pass up on
dude. Come on.
I was thinking about him too, but Jalen Warren.
I can't pass up almost 300 touches.
No, I love Caleb Johnson too. Just with Jalen Warren still there, I want to go the safer option for my RB2 slot with Aaron Jones.
Yeah, I do.
I mean, dude, for me, it's just it comes down to like I think the Steelers have told us what they want to do with the backfield. It's just a question of is anybody willing to listen? It's like Jalen Warren got the high tender, so he didn't go anywhere. So basically, he is. How many times we see teams do that entering the NFL draft? Okay, we have a guy. If we miss out on who we want, or if we have plans on drafting a running back, then it's like we'll be fine if we don't get one of the guys that we want in the NFL draft, and then the team goes out and they drafted a running back. Like I mean, look to you. We talked about Amari and Hampton. Najee Harris is the exact example of this. So I feel like Jalen Warren was that. Then they go and they draft Caleb Johnson. Dude, like he's going to get 250, 270 touches. Like he has the upside to get 300 touches in this offense. So I couldn't really pass up that upside. Like if I needed the floor and stuff like that, it would have been Pollard. But as my 4th running back, I'm going to go Caleb Johnson here. Ridley was also in the conversation. I knew he wasn't going to come back to me. But like if this was a start 3 wide receiver type of format, I would have gone Ridley here, but considering it's 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and a flex, I'll just go BPA here.
Yeah, and I think, Caleb Johnson's a guy I've been claiming to be one of the more safe picks in fantasy football drafts, and it's because that early down work, it's going to him. It's not going to Jalen Warren. It's not going to Kenneth Gainwell. And every year, Najee Harris hasn't necessarily been the best football player in the world. He's just been average as an NFL running back, and he's been an RB2 basically every time he's touched the field. Caleb Johnson going here in round 7 in the middle of it. I'll take a early down guy in Pittsburgh who can give me an RB2 production, and he could have RB1 upside. I don't know what he's going to look like as a receiver, but I know for sure this guy could be an RB2 for us here. So heading into the next pick as well, we're going to welcome back David here.
Yeah, sorry, I had to plug in the phone.
You're good. At this point in the board, I've already gone really wide receiver heavy, and I feel like I'm gonna have to again, just based on like who's here, which I don't really like right now. Freaking Caleb Johnson, Tony Pollard gone. I'm just gonna pick a player I like at this point. It's Jacoby Myers. I love me Jacoby Myers.
Oh, it's a good pick. God,
I love me Jacoby Myers. And Jacoby Myers is
dude.
the wide receiver one for the Raiders, and Geno Smith has never targeted tight ends in his career. We've never seen an offense that Pete Carroll's also been a part of target tight ends as well. I know Pete Carroll's not an offensive guy, but I've never seen it before. I know Brock Bowers is great. He's going to have a good season, but there is a wide receiver who needs a ton of volume. Jacoby Myers has gotten better every year of his career. Saw 129 targets last year in an abysmal quarterback situation. He's a solid football player. And in the AFC West, offense wins games, and the Raiders are going to have to throw the ball to stay in games. And even if they do have Ashton Genty, who's going to improve the efficiency of it, it's going to probably increase Jacoby Myers' touchdowns this season as well. I love me some Jacoby Myers, and now that I have 4 wide receivers, I will probably be looking to trade them after a few of them break out in the first few weeks. Let's see. Coming back to me, we got Tracy, Najee, Brian Robinson, a lot of running backs I'm not super high on. Going down this list here, man, I really, really don't like some of these guys I got available
Why
to me.
is John still that high in ADP?
I know, it's
Come
crazy.
on.
It is so crazy.
Do you guys think he starts over Muth, or do you think Muth starts?
They're going to run so
they
many
cap
2
each
tight end
other.
sets.
Yeah,
Like,
they're going to run so much 12 and 13 personnel. Both those dudes are probably capped at like 50 to 60% route shares. It really just it crushed both of them. Honestly, like good NFL move, horrible fantasy
Man,
move. Both of
horrible,
them got
yeah.
capsized. It was like, oh, maybe Booth is a low end tight end one. Never mind.
We're good. All right. I am going to just say this is my last wide receiver for sure. I can't do another one after this point, but another player that I absolutely love. You know what? Actually, I'm going to swing it. Juwan Jennings, love him. I have seen some good reports about Stephon Diggs this past week. Avoiding the pup heading into week 1. What? He's currently priced right now like he's going to miss the first 4 weeks of the year. Stephon Diggs' production last season, really solid wide receiver 2 production for the Texans. Now he has the opportunity to be that guy for the New England Patriots. I know he's 31 years old, but guys, we're drafting him in round 8. That feels like a steal.
Pink powder can help your knees, apparently, bro. I don't know what else to say.
I'm saying I don't know what's going to happen with Diggs for sure, but the upside there with the Patriots offense looks good for me. Throwing him as my 5th wide receiver.
Yeah, I love that pick. I was hoping because the top of my queue was literally Diggs and Juwan Jennings.
Looks like you got one of them.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, like, and I could have talked myself into Ricky Pearsall. I am going to go back to like the wide receiver position. I'll take Jennings here, but I mean, it's honestly a toss up between him and Ricky Pearsall, and Diggs would have all been in that mix. Guys that I think like could be wide receiver 3s, probably at their floors, maybe a little bit more than that. And as my wide receiver 3 on this team, I'm totally happy with that. I mean, he's not going to have to grace my starting lineup on a weekly basis with the top 2 guys that I got. So a flex play, and this, I'm loving how this team is shaping up.
Awesome. And you can see his teammate Brandon Ayuk falls right after him. Are you guys both avoiding Ayuk at all costs right now?
I'm not drafting Ayuk.
Not touching that guy. David, who you locking in here?
So I'm actually gonna lock in. I'm gonna go for 2 tight ends here because I'm confident I'm gonna get the other one in a second. But David Njoku,
2? Okay.
Well, yeah, David Njoku with Joe Flacco at the helm produced phenomenally not this past season because Flacco was in Indy, but the year before that, he broke out the second half of 2023. And I just think Njoku with Watson was not great. But Njoku with a solidified thrower, he's the safe tight end for me. I'm just going to go Njoku as my tight end 1. And we're going to come around. Thankfully, I didn't get sniped again. I'm going to take Colson Loveland here. Back-to-back seasons in 2023 and 2024, we had a rookie as tight end 1 with Sam Laporta in Ben Johnson's offense and Brock Bowers. Ben Johnson has already made a rookie tight end 1, and with 2 years in a row of having rookie tight end 1s, I'm going to take a shot at Colson Loveland. And if Flacco gets replaced, I can lean on Loveland.
I think I like Colston Loveland, the prospect. I think he's a good football player. I think he's a solid, vertical threat in an offense. I'm interested to see how they deploy the tight ends. Like, I'm interested to see, will Cole Kmet still have a sizable role at all? Because, like, the guy's on a pretty hefty contract. I don't know what Ben Johnson's going to do, but I think the talent itself, Colston Loveland's up there for sure.
I worry that Loveland gets Dalton Kincaided and he's capped at like a 60 to 65% route share.
Yeah.
I like the talent. The other thing about it that's kind of gone under the radar, the shoulder's still bothering him. Like, he wasn't involved at all in minicamp. I'm curious what kind of news we get out of early of training camp, because maybe I'm crazy. I don't think the Bears reported yet.
I don't think
they report this week.
Okay. So I'll be very curious if we do get that news, like he starts the camp on the pup or something like that. Like, I wouldn't rule that out. But again, like at 9th round, you're just taking upside shots, and Loveland's a fine take here.
Back-to-back years with rookies is the number 1. Swing for the fences.
Yep. If I wouldn't have taken Jennings, I would have taken Ricky Pearsall here. I don't want to double dip into the San Francisco passing attack, although you can make an upside case for that. But I would much rather. I'm going to go with a guy that we saw when he got competent quarterback play. He was really, really good. He was a top 24 wide receiver. And I firmly think that we do get Daniel Jones to start this year. I'm going to go Josh Downs. The efficiency has been there. The production has been there. In a PPR format, it's going to play up. I mean, all he has to do is if you just look at the archetype of the wide receivers in the Colts passing attack, who is Daniel Jones going to throw to? It's going to be Downs and a lot of Tyler Warren. Like, Michael Pittman is a clasher. I like the guy, but does that fit with somebody that's very much a see-it-throw at quarterback, and Daniel Jones, not so much? Alec Pierce, Daniel Jones is not going to be going deep a ton, as well as throwing, to that type of archetype of quarterback, wide receiver. Josh Downs, I think this could be the true breakout season that he has this year.
He's such a sneaky player. That's another training camp guy. Like, you see, like a Daniel Jones week 1 starter, Josh Downs might shoot up 2 rounds. Interestingly.
We get a blurb. Downs, it looks like the clear wide receiver 1 in the passing attack right now. Like, where's his ADP? He's going to shoot up at least around maybe 2. Yeah. Like, he'd be going around that Chris Godwin, Jerry Jeudy kind of mark. Like, you would see him in the 7th round as opposed to the 9th here.
Yep, 100%.
So
at this point here in my slot, I got to go RB. I do think Tyler Warren is interesting, like you mentioned, if Daniel Jones does get that starting role. And I'm between 2 guys at this point.
Oh, Indy Taysom Hill, you mean?
Indy Taysom Hill. It could be a thing. It could be a thing.
Listen, Taysom Hill on the Colts?
If Anthony Richardson is not the starter.
Oh, okay.
If Anthony Richardson is not the starter, though, they will have packages put in place that Tyler Warren just slots in, which is perfect. It's awesome.
It's that Friday Night Lights clip where he's like, and he can pass.
He can do it all. Let's see here. I'm between, you know what? I'm going to go with it. I talked about it earlier. I think Jordan Mason's a guy that can really, interestingly enough, take over for the vet. I'm sorry I got to take your handcuff at this point, but I am running back desperate too outside of my first 2 guys. I love me some Jordan Mason this year, potentially sneaking in. And I think this might be like one of the first times in a while we see a almost closer to a timeshare in Minnesota that keeps Aaron Jones a little bit healthier. Jordan Mason, really good player. I think he could be in for more work this year.
That hurts. That one hurt. The Henderson hurt. That one hurt too.
All right, a little bit of RBs.
And running backs.
Micah Ibuka. I'm trying to think here who we want.
Team 4 has basically one wide receiver
Team 4. What are we looking at here? Team
and
4.
two
Yeah.
QBs.
Oh man.
What? What are we doing?
Team 4 wants to win. They just want to
Drunk drafting off of vibes. That's Team 4 right now.
That seems like one way to go about it this year. I'm in an interesting spot here, and I do need a quarterback. Do I want to keep throwing some running back darts out there? You know what? I'm going to deploy a little bit of my common strategies this year. I'm going to go get safety with upside at the quarterback position later here, and I think it'll work out. I'm going to go with Dak Prescott and get that George Pickens stack. Now, I'm thinking, quarterbacks, you have to be a quarterback one and be top 12 either in passing efficiency or you have to rush for 300 yards. Dak Prescott, right, his rushing numbers have gone down each year, as you guys can see here. So I am banking on the Dallas Cowboys being in that passing efficiency. And I think that, the George Pickens edition does help that. So I think Dak Prescott there is a guy I'm going to slot in. And like I said, I am not done at the quarterback position just yet.
I love the pick of Dak. These late quarterbacks are the reasons why you don't have to go with the early guys. I think there's so much equity because we've seen top 5 upside from a lot of these quarterbacks. Dak Prescott has a top 5 season on his belt. On his resume, excuse me. And so that's going to lead me to the guy that I'm going to pick. And dude, every single time this guy has been a starter, I don't care about people's priors. I don't care about the narratives. You look at production, and we're playing fantasy, and we all care about it. It's Justin Fields, dude. He's been a top 10 quarterback every single time he has been a starter.
Yep.
No lower than QB9 over the last 3 seasons as a starter. And the contract cements it. I'm not worried about Tyrod Taylor. I'm not worried about anybody else taking snaps. I mean, Justin Fields has a shot to run for 1,000 yards this year. So, yes, easily. And I've already made one bet on this offense with the Jets with Garrett Wilson. Why not stack it with his quarterback?
Dude, you know what? I was thinking the same thing you know what? I think Justin Fields is higher on my rankings, but I have George Pickens. So why not just go for the stack right now? Why not just enjoy the flavors of it?
It's fine. I do have Fields above Dak in my rankings too. Fields is a QB 8, and I got Dak at 10.
Before I make this pick, I just admire that Ryan just does not care about injury history, drafting CMC and Dak Prescott in the same draft.
We're good.
And if they stay healthy, what are they at their positions though?
Well, a couple rounds better than their ADP.
Exactly.
David, we're in that fantasy goats draft. I think our draft or whatever that we're in, and I drafted Rashee Rice in the beginning of the third because you know what I did? I drafted for upside in May. And now he's suspended. And you know what? I drafted Jonnu too before the trade. And now he's traded. So I'm already screwed over. But
I still like Rashee Rice in like the 4th or 5th round because I'm confident in my drafting ability. So getting that potential wide receiver 1 on the back half of the season, if he's suspended 6 to 8 games, that'll be huge if a team can hang on to 3-3, 4-2, and you bring in a wide receiver 1.
And none of us know how long the suspension is going to be. We're all forecasting. What if it comes out it's only 2 games?
2 games would be
the NFL takes all of these things they handle a case by case basis. Like everybody out there is pretending like they know on Twitter and stuff, and it's like he's getting 6 games. It's like okay, and the NFL is showing you time and time again they do whatever the heck they want with these, and they take them case by case. So
and this is why you don't draft until as late as you can before the season, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
All right, David.
They drafts for the win. All right, I need a depth running back here badly. String of running backs go. You took Mike Hancock. I don't love what I'm seeing here with Rashad White. Bucky is taking over that backfield.
You hate Harvey. You don't love J.K. Dobbins?
So I was coming to that. I was actually coming to that right after. Believe it or not.
I'm sorry. I had to mention it. Okay.
No, I was getting there. You didn't let me cook. You didn't let me cook. If J.K. Dobbins can stay healthy, I truly believe he gets more snaps down the stretch than R.J. Harvey. And I want you to eat this. RJ or
Hey,
J.K.
listen,
Dobbins off the
David,
board.
David, I am recording that clip for our end of the year Blitz bad takes,
Oh,
and that one's
wait.
going to be posted.
Keep the Hampton over Harvey. I guarantee
No, I'm keeping
you.
that one. I'm keeping the Dobbins.
I
I'm keeping the Dobbins.
guarantee you, Hampton finishes with more fantasy points than RJ Harvey does this year.
I'll take that bet.
Book it,
handily.
take it to Canton.
Take it. Look, I'm going to get a ton of things wrong this year. We all
fair.
are, but
that's not one
I
of
mean,
them.
I'll stand on process with it. It's fine. If it's an L I eat, it's an L I eat.
All right. Now, bench is looking pretty decent. Got a backup running back. Got DK in this scenario where there's only one flex. Is my guy on the bench too. Tight ends figured out. Between running back and wide receiver here, I'm taking a guy that I think has the biggest breakout potential in Keon Coleman. He had some injury struggles in his rookie year. They have Khalil Shakir on the outside, but Keon Coleman, they didn't bring in any other receivers except Josh Palmer and Elijah Moore, and they're just going to compete for the slot receiver role on that team. Keon Coleman's got the biggest breakout potential of almost any guy on the board right now. And in the 11th round, that's someone I look to for bench space.
That's a take I can get behind right there. I love me some Keon Coleman a little bit at the end.
Took 11 rounds for you to get behind.
No. I'm just saying after the J.K. Dobbins over R.J. Harvey one, I had to give you some credit.
I'm just so down on R.J. Harvey.
And he didn't get enough love in the pre-draft process. I think people are chasing it. So,
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'm going to lean into upside here for what's going to be my wide receiver 5. Having 4 running backs, I'm already set at quarterback at the onesie positions with guys I really like. I'll probably add another quarterback like late, but there's no way in heck I'm sitting here passing up my dude, the soul stealing, route running savant of Trey Harris. Like I'm all in on Trey Harris, man. Loved him. If you take Travis Hunter out of the wide receiver rookie rankings, Trey Harris is my wide receiver 2 of this class.
Wow.
When you get a guy that it's the metrics and it's the film when they match up, that's the guys that I'm willing to be extremely aggressive on. So I love Trey Harris. Mike Williams retiring. I'm not worried about Quentin Johnston. I know he's getting a lot of hope and hype out there. Dude, it's kind of crazy. Like, I think with Quentin Johnston, not to get off too far on a side tangent here, but Quentin Johnston, I think people are missing the fact that, like, if you look for his season long stuff, week 18 where he went for a buck 180, like, massively helped. Like, it was 26% of his receiving yardage, where it's like, I don't like to play like, oh, take this big game away. But when it's freaking week 18, it didn't count for anybody's fantasy season. So it helped his season long stats, didn't help anybody win any fantasy games, and massively pumped up all of his efficiency stuff to like false narrative season where it's like his separation score got way better just because he crushed the Raiders in week 18. His route win rate went up, his yards per route run, like all of that stuff. Like, dude, if you take that one freaking game out of his sample, his perimeter yards per route run drops from 2.0 to 1.67. Like, you're talking about like, whoa, like QJ, let's go, dude, versus, oh, so you're a wide receiver 4 or 5. Okay. Like, so I'm not worried about any of that. It's Trey Harrisism.
Yeah, Trey Harris is such an interesting guy, and I kind of look at this board based off of, the Mike Williams thing only helps him. Like, there's just nothing bad about the situation. You look at the guys that are going ahead of him right now, Shaheed, Coleman, Higgins, Pittman, Egabuka, Mooney, right? Maybe like Darnell Mooney's probably the only, and Darnell Mooney, Keon Coleman, and Trey Harris are toss-ups for me at this point. But I think
him and Mooney, look at their situations. Aren't they the Spider-Man gif?
Literally, yes, I agree with that. Mooney might just be like a year or 2 ahead of Trey Harris right now, right? And the thing is you could easily argue that Justin Herbert's clearly better than Michael Penix Jr., right? And the ground game is more efficient in Los Angeles, that Trey Harris might be more efficient than Mooney. I can get behind that take. That's something I can get behind. I think with Mooney, though, that I have a little bit of more certainty that I know, like, for sure, like, if I need a flex play, but upside wise, I think Trey Harris is a smarter pick. In my slot here, I was eyeing him up and I was hoping none of you guys would take him. I just got to lock down my handcuff. I have Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
I need Isaac Guerrero no matter what. If I draft Christian McCaffrey, I'm getting Isaac Guerrero, and I don't have to. I'm paying a premium if I have to. I have to get him if I have Christian McCaffrey this year. An Achilles injury is an Achilles injury, and even if I'm so high on Christian McCaffrey being productive this year, oh, dude, stop it.
I did the exact same thing in our other league, Ryan.
Yeah,
Lockdown Isaac.
I got CPU sniped. Drake May. Oh my gosh, that just hurts. I was really hoping I would get Drake May there.
You already got
go.
so you're chilling with quarterback.
I am chilling at quarterback because there's the other guy that I have to take at this point. It's JJ McCarthy.
Done.
Debro is out. Debro's out. I'm just sniping all of his boys. I'm sniping them all.
That was my pick, man. I'm done.
That's what you get.
Listen,
That's what you get.
My late round strategy is either get like a guy like Dak or Justin Fields and then pair them with Drake May or JJ McCarthy. And I mentioned the key stats for quarterbacks. It is rushing upside paired with passing efficiency.
Right.
And
I take everything back. You should have drafted Drake May. You should have drafted Drake May. I take it all back. Take it all back. Nope.
Hey, he hasn't made the pick yet.
I've reversed course.
I will say this, though. The great thing that JJ McCarthy has going for him is Sam Darnold was a top 12 quarterback because of passing efficiency. Guess what? JJ McCarthy did a lot in college. He ran the football. You get Sam Darnold with rushing upside. You have, 23 plus point performances 8 times in the last 3 years under KOC for the quarterbacks. JJ McCarthy is going to be good in fantasy football. I love this guy at the end of my drafts right now. I am so sorry, D, bro.
He is the QB9.
Quick question for you guys while we're down the board.
QB9? You have him that high?
Yeah, dude.
I love that.
Do you guys believe JJ McCarthy is has the safest floor among all quarterbacks that are being drafted this late?
I think it's
with
between
Jordan
him
Love,
and Dak.
Drake May, CJ Stroud, Caleb Williams.
I agree with D, bro. Dak and McCarthy have safe floors. I think you could argue that Fields has as safe of a floor as them, but obviously his passing numbers are not like he doesn't get the volume that those guys have, so he's a little bit more volatile because if he has a bad rushing game, maybe he's a little bit more inconsistent. But McCarthy and Dak, it feels like the volume in the passing game, right? But with McCarthy, man, you get a little bit of rushing flavor in there too. Throwing a Jettas, oh man, JJ McCarthy.
I've got JJ. Like I said a second ago, that hurts so fucking much. Man.
Was that the guy that you were like eyeing up that you were saying you're going to get later too?
Yes, it was. It absolutely was. I was going to go in this. Like David had a long rant prepared for JSN. I had a very long rant prepared for JJ McCarthy. I'm saying it in my ranks, dude. I've got it as my QB9, and for everybody that says you can't produce that, well, okay. I will push back on anybody and tell me why, because we know KOC is going to throw the ball.
I would have taken McCarthy in my Coleman slot. I mean, if Bo Nix wasn't there.
Yeah, no, I'm taking him over Jared Goff easy, Justin Herbert easy, Kyler Murray easy.
With Jettas.
CJ Stroud, Drake May, I will take him over Kyle, like any of these guys, Herbert. Like, it all comes down to the fact we know KOC is going to throw the freaking ball. You saw Sam Darnold weeks 1 through 17 was QB8 in fantasy points per game. And I've said it since he was a prospect. I fought back the hate and the bad narratives. JJ is going to be really, really freaking good, dude. And he is surrounded by
talent.
Arguably, it's top 3 cast of supporting characters.
Listen, they even upgraded the interior offensive line this year, which was their only basic weakness on the team last year. And now they got probably a top 5 interior offensive line.
Well, Hawk's going to be fully healthy. Addison's going to miss time, but they got Naylor. They also can run a lot of 12 personnel and stuff. Like, I'm not worried about that. So, I just think JJ is, he's a locked-in QB1 for me. It's not even debatable for me. So, considering that, I am not going to take a quarterback here. Considering that, I am Bashal Toot, and he got sniped for me. I'm just going to go to the same backfield. I'm fully out on Travis Etienne. Did he already get picked in here? Yeah.
He went.
The fact that he goes round 9, 3 rounds ahead of Bashal Tootin and Tank Bigsby is
I like
insanity to me.
Most there. I like Tank Bigsby the most of the three.
I mean, the thing with Tank is the limiting factor with him is, I mean, he could be the David Montgomery of this offense, but he's not going to catch passes. Like that's never been part of his profile, so it's all touchdown dependent. But he's incredibly efficient on the ground. I loved him as a prospect. I talked about him for his rookie year. It didn't happen, and of course, social media wanted to bury me because they're like, "Oh, you really like Tank, huh?" And he goes out and he has a horrible rookie season, but then he bounces back in his second season and shows everybody the talent that he has. So I think there is a non-zero chance Travis Etienne is not even on this roster come week 1.
Ooh, I like
So
that.
unless Bashal Tootin face plants, I think there's an easy chance that Etienne could get moved.
Yeah, imagine he moves to Denver.
No chance.
Imagine he moves to Dallas.
Dallas would be the most. Dallas would be the best fantasy landing spot for
that
him.
would be.
I could see him going to Dallas.
Yeah.
That'd be a fun offense to watch.
Well, David, you can't pick Kyle Pitts there.
Oh, I promise you I wasn't. I love being ahead of everyone.
On drafting.
There's 14 total rounds. I don't like waiting to the last round to take a mediocre kicker or defense.
Oh, boy.
With that being said, I got to take the best defense last season. They added
Do we have to draft a kicker or defense?
No, I'm not drafting them.
Okay.
Hey, I'm filling out the roster, all right?
I'll fill out the roster before week 1. I was fixing to say, I'm not drafting.
No, I don't care. I want my number 1 guys now, and I'll get them. Broncos had the number 1 defense. They drafted.
You don't even have to explain the defense,
Okay,
David. Just select them. Just pick the defense.
Keep hating. It's fine. See?
That man said defenses score points too.
They do.
I mean, he's not wrong. Denver's my number 1 too.
David, I will say this. Defense is more of a skill-based and a bigger, you have to know more about picking defenses than you do about picking kickers.
Yeah.
There's a lot more.
Just toss the names into a hat. Which one do you like?
Nope.
Yeah.
With talk about kickers now, I'm taking Fairburn. I just think with the lack of offensive line they have compared to last year, they traded away Larry Tunsil. I think their drives are going to stall even more, and I just think he's going to be more involved in the kicking game.
You can't make me draft a defense or a kicker.
Hey,
I ain't doing it. I ain't planning on doing it.
When we
either.
compare rosters at the end of this video, I'm gonna have a starting lineup.
Unless I'm in a league that forces me to do it, I'm not doing it.
I'll always draft. I had the Cowboys defense in Dynasty a couple years ago, and they carried me. And I mean, they were putting up 20, 25 points a game. They were carrying me.
Listen, I'm rolling out the Louisiana Mudhens at my defensive spot, and then Ray Finkel at kicker. That's who I'm going to start week 1 until I figure out who I'm going with.
Hey, fair enough.
I'll invest in another because I've got 5 running backs. Yeah, five running backs.
That's some depth right there.
1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 5 wide receivers. I mean, I really could go anywhere on the board here. Debating on a few different spots here. I'll seeing as I do have Fields, I will take an upside shot on a quarterback here. I'll take Trevor Lawrence. I was in between him and Bryce Young. Just guys that I feel like can outperform their ADPs. Looking at the quarterback situation right now, look again. I'm fine with taking Fields. I would be fine if I didn't draft another quarterback at all for this team, considering the certainty that I feel for Fields and the fact that I got him but the fact that I didn't draft a quarterback until round 10 gives me a little bit more. I'm more willing to revisit the position inside the top 14, 15 rounds. So,
yeah, 100%. Ah, man, what do I want to do here?
Defense or kicker? I hear those are very popular, Ryan.
Yeah, I've heard too.
I just rather have a top defense than
what?
Other guys.
We haven't talked a lot about upside tight ends, so let me talk about 2 guys. I'm very bullish on Isaiah Likely. Just depends on what happens. Like he could be a top 5 tight end one week, and the other week you'd be like, why is he not involved? Like it's just where the Ravens are, and I'm a little bit bullish on them. I am going to go with You went Jaguars, so I'll go away from the Jaguars here. I do like Brenton Strange, but Hunter Henry, he was pretty
Yes, sir.
solid when Drake May took over as the starting quarterback. We talk about this receiver room like we don't know what's going to happen. Obviously, Stephon Diggs being there helps. We know that the tight end position in a Josh McDaniels offense has received a pretty good target share. You remember that Rob Gronkowski guy, Aaron Hernandez too. I
Oh
mean, not
no.
going to mention him that much, but Hunter Henry was really good with Drake May. He was his favorite target share guy throughout the end of last year, and he was a solid, viable option in PPR. Only had 2 touchdowns last year, too. I could see a little bit of positive regression there. Doesn't have as much competition behind him as he has in the past. I think Hunter Henry's a solid guy you throw a dart on and say, hey, Hunter Henry, him and Drake May paired well last year. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I like
Y'all,
Henry.
y'all missed on the Jets defense. What y'all get?
Oh darn! I'll just have to stream.
Yeah. D-Bro, what are your thoughts on Henry?
I like Henry a lot, man. If you look at just isolating the full starts that Drake May had last year, Hunter Henry would have been producing as the tight end 8 in fantasy points per game in those
Yeah.
starts. And I know that, like, we're not just taking last year's numbers and transposing them onto this year, but honestly, like, look at the passing game. I mean, if it Stephon Diggs, I really like him where he goes, but after him, it's like Pop Douglas has not been a high end target share
Kyle
earner.
Williams is not there yet.
Kyle
Like, we don't
Williams
know.
might be the wide
Yeah.
receiver 4 on the team right now. Might not even
Yeah.
be gracing the starting lineup. I think you're going to look at, like, New England at worst. I think Henry is the third option in that passing attack. At best, he's fighting for the team lead in target share every single week with Stephon Diggs. I think most median outcomes, he's going to be the 2 there. And if that's the case, dude, he could be a tight end 1 this year. I love that
It
call.
really, like, it's just so intriguing with this Patriots offense. Like, there's so many different moving parts compared to last year, and
so
I'm
cheap,
interested to
dude.
see what happens. What do you say?
And they're so cheap. Like,
They
you're
are
not
really
putting up,
cheap.
like Stephon Diggs, if he was on another,
Where did I
if you
get
took
him?
Stephon Diggs and you said, okay, he's not on the Patriots, you put him on some other, like, sexier team name right now and said he's probably going to be the wide receiver 1 in the offense, he wouldn't be going where he's at right now either.
Yeah. Let's say, like, even like a team like Baltimore. Let's say he's the wide receiver 2 in Baltimore. People would have him probably 2 rounds higher, maybe something like that, which is interesting for me.
Yeah.
All right. In this spot, I got to go with the guy that, I preached a little bit about this week. A little bit of Roshan Johnson action. We don't know what's going to happen with how this running back committee is going to work out for the Chicago Bears just yet. That's a big training camp thing, and I could see Roshan Johnson taking a little bit of a leap forward a couple rounds if we do see that they are going towards that split. They are going to go towards the split. DeAndre Swift averaged 5 targets a game when he was with Ben Johnson in Detroit, but his rushing totals were under 10 touches a game. And they need an early down back. Roshan Johnson was I think it was a 56% rush success rate last year, and he was really good around the goal line as well. Scored a bunch of touchdowns in there. The volume, and you look at it, he only had 55 carries last year. Like, you look at these numbers and you'll be like, no chance Roshan Johnson can be productive in fantasy. But he faced the most stacked boxes according to player profile, and he also ranked top 10 in EPA. So this guy can play a little bit, but the biggest thing that excites me is early down work and goal line work in a Ben Johnson offense that's seen 25 plus touchdowns at the running back position 3 straight years. So I'm going to throw a dart on Roshan Johnson. Best case scenario, RB2. Worst case scenario, I'm dropping him.
To your point, Ryan, I think DeAndre Swift is one of the worst picks you can make in fantasy this year. He has the exact profile of a dead zone back. It's all projected volume, no efficiency, not much upside. The Ben Johnson's team is covering up for DeAndre Swift, where it's like, dude, he's had backfields all to his lonesome over the last 2 years. And it's like, he was solid. He wasn't freaking amazing. And now it's like, everybody's like, oh, Ben Johnson's there. Oh, DeAndre. No, the answer is still do not draft DeAndre Swift. No.
Yeah. I mean, and you could even see like his time in Philadelphia behind the best offensive line in the league and opens holes up that we could run through. He was the RB20. And like, I just don't like DeAndre Swift is like you mentioned, he's just not one of my favorite picks at all by any means. And I don't draft him no matter what. I'm not drafting any DeAndre Swift this year.
No, I adamantly agree. Like, where did he go okay, so he went in the 7th round of this draft. Like Caleb Johnson, Tony Pollard, yes. Any of these wide receivers? Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, no, DeAndre Swift, no.
Yeah, I'll pass on that. All right, who we going with here?
So for me, again, if I'm David, I swear I'm not giving you crap for this, but like if I'm in leagues where I don't have to draft a defense or a kicker, I'm just never doing it. That's why I clarified.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I'll pick them up. Like when we're walking into training camp and stuff, I want to take shots on the last 2 to 3 rounds on players that could rise up at the board or handcuffs if injuries strike, because we have seen that in multiple years in training camps. I just honestly, I'm going to pick this guy not because he's a handcuff directly, but I think he could, one, have a standalone role. So even if I was like forced to plug him into a flex in a PPR format, and two, if injuries do strike, this guy has the talent to really jump up boards. And I just want to talk about him, man. I'm going to go with my guy here, Brashard Smith. I think that there's a case to be made.
Wow.
Brashard Smith could be the new Jerick McKinnon in KC.
Wow.
And I think at least I think I pretty much know what we're going to get out of the Kansas City Chiefs again this year. I think it's going to be a lot of underneath passing. I think we've seen them go away from the running backs in the passing game. But, I mean, look at who they've had over the last years. Isaiah Pacheco has not been able to stay healthy for totality of seasons. We're questioning what version of Pacheco do we get this year coming off the injury. I think he's going to be 100% healthy, but does he get the tackle breaking metrics to bounce back with the health this year? Brashard Smith has huge upside, man. Like this is a converted wide receiver. He can run routes. Even if he's playing that Jerick McKinnon role, we've seen that be RB3 worthy, flex worthy, like put up multiple RB2 weeks in a fantasy season. So Brashard Smith's guy I just wanted to talk about here, but legitimately, I'm going to be walking away from so many leagues with him as a final pick.
I think, especially in best ball formats, this guy's just a great pick. Like, best case scenario, like you get that Jerick McKinnon type season where he's having like the receiving upside. And I think the interesting part about the current construction of the Chiefs running back room is that Kareem Hunt, right? Really not super efficient by any means last year, but was really solid on, short yardage work, goal line work, and held the fort down while Pacheco was gone. Pacheco, he's had production in the past for this team, but last year had a significant injury, didn't look the same. And then you enter Brashard Smith, who's a rising rookie that just transitioned from receiver to running back recently, who had really good college production as well. The Chiefs have a solid trio in this backfield. It's very intriguing, and this is a training camp battle that I'm definitely paying attention to for sure.
Yep.
All right, David, you can't go defense or kicker here, or else you're going to have two of them.
I can't. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, you
kind of could.
No,
you could.
I don't want to box you in, dude. I mean, you can.
So the reason I like going defense kicker 1 round ahead of everyone else typically is I think the value of a backup quarterback in the last round is there. You got guys like Bryce Young coming off, who had a promising second half of last year. Michael Penix looked great as a rookie, but with how the board is, and I'm a big fan of stacks, I gotta go with Aaron Rodgers.
Whoa.
Be my backup
You
quarterback.
just made the case for Penix and Bryce,
Yeah.
and then you go Rodgers?
Rodgers.
Why?
Well, I'm a big fan of stacks. I don't have any of the Falcons receivers. I don't have any of the
Oh, got you.
Other.
I forgot you took Metcalf earlier.
But DK is if we had 2 flexes, DK would be my second flex, and Rodgers, in the event someone else gets hurt, I can put him in the lineup and still have that stack.
All right, listen. Now that I know when we do a Blitz Fantasy League how you draft, and I know that if there's a stack and I'm behind you, I'm just not getting that guy for sure. I know that's just not going to happen. You could love a guy, but you're going to be like, you know what? There's a stack there. 100%. Well, listen, mock draft season is in full swing. We just launched one for you guys. We had to go through. And, we all had very different strategies here. We sniped each other. David went through, made some takes that we are definitely recording for in the season to take a look at. But we had a great time. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button for more Blitz Fantasy Football content, and we'll catch you guys next time.